Okay, here we are again. I12 GIA, real talk with real people. Tonight we're going to do an assortment of things. There's all kinds of shit going on. We've had a lot of technical issues, and we're trying to get all this stuff rewired and running. I got my partner Rennie's back again. His hip is fixed. As soon as I'm done with this, the first thing we're going to talk to is his tattoo that we discussed last time.
Jesus!
And the story behind that, because when he was all doped up and flirting with the nurses, I promised our audience that we would discuss that. So that's the first thing up tonight. Later on, we have a new addition to our group. We have Nomad is his name. And I'm going to read this intro to make sure I get it right. Nomad is our roving hunter-gatherer, door kicker extraordinaire, and one that knows that of which he speaks. He's out and about gathering information, and he's going to give us a call later and let us know what he's found. The topic for tonight's talk is going to be riots, protests, and other assorted bullshit. Okay, so Rennie, let's start with a tattoo story. Let's just fire it off right and go directly to that. What's the story with your tattoo?
Blaze, put the picture up if you want.
I ain't got no damn picture. Tell us the story behind it.
So in my younger days.
There we go.
When you were a poor black child raised in the South.
Yeah.
Right after my, remember 1972, the Air Force plane that crashed in the Andes Mountains and they were eating each other through cannibalism? Well, one of them was my great uncle. Anyway.
Oh my God, there it is.
Okay, so in my younger days, I was well endowed. And as a young lad, my nickname
looks like they forgot to shave your ass too.
My nickname was Meat. That's my thigh. That's not my ass, dude.
Where the fuck is the hair coming from on your thigh?
Dude, you get fucking hair on your legs. Drop your trousers and take a look.
Really? Look at the fucking size of those things. You sure there's some pubic fucking hairs?
I'm 160 pounds, brother.
Yeah, what the fuck has that got to do with your hair?
Anyway.
Oh, God, we've lost control already.
I was so well endowed that it used to hang across my thigh. And one night.
Your meat, right?
After a night of drinking, I felt bad. And so anyway, I went out and I got this tattoo of a Tweety bird. So when my schlong was doing nothing and laying across, the Tweety bird had a perch to sit on. But over the years, the older you get, shrinkage occurs. He can't make the perch anymore, so he's fluttering aimlessly like the rest of us.
Yeah, fluttering aimlessly is a pretty good description for tonight so far. So now, what did the nurse say about your tattoo?
Huh?
What did the nurse you were flirting with have to say about your tattoo?
She asked me about it. I says, I don't think you want the real story. She says, I do. I go, okay. She was horrified.
Yep. So she ran screaming from your room and never came back?
No, actually, she took a picture with it.
Why am I not surprised? All right, now that we got that out of the way.
Picture with all his fucking pubic hair or whatever it is right here.
That's thigh hair.
That's thigh hair?
Yeah.
What the fuck? You got a hippie growing on your thigh?
Yep.
All right, Fogman, you got them good. You got them.
Yeah, okay. We're done with that. We've about milked that for all it's worth, figuratively speaking. All right, let's go. So
that's for sure.
Riots and protests. What the fuck are these idiots doing?
Getting worse by the day. If you think it's going to be over soon, it's only started.
No kidding. It's breaking out worldwide for the most part. But what's causing it? Where's this coming from? Because Nancy Pelosi was running her mouth today about how these are all organic and they're just happening naturally, but there are maybe some paid agitators, but this is just a normal course of events in our world.
Yeah, didn't Psycho Lady also say Netanyahu should be removed from office?
Yeah, well, her and the other psycho guy too.
Well, there you go. So this is all about destroying the world, destroying our way of life.
So it's about more. Do you think? Well, what do you, is it, I know Antifa, BLM, all the rest of them, it's all pretty much the same bunch of groups.
They can't wait to usher in the New World Order.
Is it New World Order? Is it communism? Is it just general protests? What do you think?
This is no. This is not about protest. This is about reorganizing the world.
Okay.
Vastly different from the way we know it now.
Do you think there's a communist element to all this?
Well, trying to in the 100-year marathon, yeah, absolutely. I think you could throw a little, like making a fudgy brownies. Just keep adding shit into it, including the nuts.
Yeah, there's plenty enough of those.
Yeah.
All right. This, we were both around during the Watts riots and the Rodney King nonsense and all that other good stuff that happened back then. Well, that really wasn't nonsense.
Dang right. One of my heroes was Stacy Coons. He went to jail.
Oh yeah.
Remember him?
Yep.
He showed up wearing a pig head. The day of his pig nose. The day of his sentencing.
Yeah. Who else got jacked up for that too?
Yeah.
Wait. I think Nomad's wandering around somewhere backstage, or I don't know where he is. We're going to try to get him in here. Just if he can pop in, either call or I don't know, whatever our tech geniuses have worked out. Because Blazeman and all that stuff, they have all this shit organized. I hope, being the highly trained professionals that we are, which it has evidence by tonight so far.
Well, yeah, we're highly trained. Yeah.
You got to listen to these people. I'm sorry to bounce in on you guys. Well, as a Free Palestine, I don't think any of them have a goddamn idea what's happening.
Yeah, they don't. There's a video out there too, something about
ask
somebody.
Ask and see if your guest can hear you.
So, this is being funded by the Soros father and son, and
Boo Boo, can you hear us?
Hey, Nomad, you out there?
Nah, he's gonna call.
Okay, there we go. The phone's ringing. I think that's our guy. I think.
Hey, caller, you're on the air with i12 GIA Real Talk with Real People.
Nomad, is that you? Well,
can you hear me? This is Nomad.
I can hear you now, buddy. Glad you. Are you still alive out there? Are you still floating around? Did you hear that intro that I did for you?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, about the door kicker extraordinaire and all that fun stuff.
Yeah, the line's real bad.
Is it okay? Well, we'll do the best we can and see what happens. So we're talking about riots and protests, and so what do you got for us, buddy?
Okay, yeah. How about now? Can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
Yeah, it's real faint. It's real. It sounds like the inside of Joe Biden's brain. There's something ticking, but there's but the hamster's dead.
That's pretty much empty in there. So, it's kind of the same. Like if you take a can of quarters and shake it, that's kind of the sound.
The actual audio is the connection's real bad. It's real hissy and making stuff. Do you want to call me back?
We are not hearing no hiss. We are not hearing anything. You're coming in loud and clear.
All right, you're gone again. You're gone again, buddy.
We lost you again. Okay, it's on your end. It's on your end, man.
Yeah, it's real.
Because we're hearing you okay.
We'll try and buzz you back.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Yeah.
Any good?
Yeah, we can hear you fine.
Okay, it's fine then. Okay, well, what's happening? What's going on?
We're talking about riots and protests and assorted bullshit. So what do you got for us? What would you like to talk about in reference to that?
No.
Is that you coming into our lobby?
Yeah, I'm coming in, but I'm coming in hot.
That's okay. Don't
static in the background.
Sorry, Nomad. Don't join the lobby. That will probably take the hiss away. Just do your interview over the phone, sir.
There we go. That'll work. See, that's why you get paid the big bucks.
Let me call in on a different option, and I'll call you right back because it's real bad for people trying to hear what we're going to talk about.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine.
Wait,
But
okay.
Okay.
Yes, buddy. Stand by.
Yeah.
On the way back again. Nomad out.
Okay, so
All right.
I don't know what the hissing he's talking about, gentlemen, but we heard him perfectly.
Yeah, definitely. All right, we'll figure it out.
How about Nomad? Can we hear you now? Nomad?
I think he's going to catch the call back, right?
Yeah, but he's jumping in a lobby. He's right here in the lobby. I could see him.
Oh shit! How can you?
But
How
he's
can you,
not. But he is not coming up on screen when I allow him to.
That's weird.
Yeah.
Well, he's just straight audio, right? He doesn't have video.
Yeah, he should just call in the show. I mean, he's not hearing us, so.
Huh.
All right. So hopefully he calls the show. All right, back.
We'll figure it out. All right. So anyhow, we have speaking of video, that looks like that was they tried doing a protest in Austin, Texas today, apparently, and it didn't go very well.
Well, that's going on right now.
I see that. Yeah, the Texas cops are a little bit different than. They have a little different way of doing things.
Damn right they do.
Yeah. As opposed to the institutes of higher learning. You know what? Something I could never grasp is because this has been going on forever. It's always students. Remember the SDS, Students for Democratic Society, and all these protests always start in these Ivy League colleges, and then they come out and infect everybody else. What's up with that?
Yeah, but see, a lot of it's being funded by Soros and his son.
Okay, guys, this is a call.
All right, we'll hold on.
Caller, you're on the air with i12, GIA, Real Talk with Real People. We got Nomad here.
Hey, Nomad.
How's it going, buddy?
It's going good, my friend. We're going to try this again. You hear this okay?
Yes, absolutely fine. I wish I didn't, but I do. But
I know. Well, I get that a lot, but we're still here.
So. Me too, despite your best efforts, buddy. Yeah. All righty. What are we talking about?
All right. We are talking about riots, protests, and other assorted bullshit. So we were just discussing, remember the SDS, the Society for the oh hell, I don't know, those radicals from back in the 50s or the 60s and 70s. What have you? They get in these places, they infect these institutes of higher learning, and then it just kind of morphs out and goes to everybody else. So what is your opinion on how they manage to get into these colleges? And
here's the thing. It's a very interesting playbook that these guys are doing because it's something that's already been done before. And if you look at what's going on, especially with the likes of Columbia and all those other Ivy League talk shops, the main group that coordinates the protests in Columbia is a group called BDS, which is the Boycott, Divestment, and Sanctions Against Israel group.
Okay.
And they're funded, funny enough, as you said, the 50s, they're funded by the National Students for Justice in Palestine. These guys have about 200 groups throughout the U.S. In different campuses, and their origins began in the 50s. And the 50s, it began with a thing called the GUP, which is the General Union of Palestinian Students. And those guys, if you're, I know, buddy, you're older than me. You have a house in Jurassic Park.
I do. I still drive my car with my feet too.
And I'm being kind to dinosaurs. Going anywhere. In the 50s, when men were men and women were women, no tranny fluid. It basically ended up being where Foundation of Israel is 1948. So the 50s, it began primarily and it spread, and it primarily ended up setting the playbook up for coordination. 50s coming into civil rights into 60s, and then after that coming into other things which morphed into, a generation later. Now here's my point. This stuff is very coordinated, and it's always been coordinated by the professional students. The professional students are these academics who never left school. The most famous professional student we've ever had was Barack Obama. He never tried a case in front of a judge, but yeah, he's a constitutional lawyer, but he never left school. He became a professor, a community activist, and did his thing. But here's where we're at. So these guys have already got the railway track since the 50s, since this General Union of Palestinian Students in the 50s, and then the National Students for Justice in Palestine is the more modern version of that. And that led into BDS, which is the boycott, divestment, and sanctions against Israel. The leader in Colombia, this self-appointed hamster, his name is Mahmoud Khalil, which is a wonderful name, and it means something probably to somebody else. But he's very much tied in with some of the professors and adjunct professors that have made a career of doing nothing and costing us money. And so Colombia, it's like McDonald's. Wash, rinse, repeat. What happened in Colombia happens in MIT and other places, right? So
okay.
They use the same coordination between them,
Now, okay, which leads me to the next question. This isn't involving just Palestine then. Is there a connection between, the Palestinian protests and Antifa and BLM and all the rest of them? Are they under the umbrella of?
Well, I tell you, here's the thing. Most of these idiots who are protesting don't know geography.
Right.
They don't know where Palestine is. They think Palestine, the last time I heard of Palestine, there was a train derailment and people got poisoned. And that was somewhere up in the Midwest. It was about 18 months to 2 years ago.
Ohio.
The biggest decision most of these people make is Wawa or Dunkin' Donuts. And after that, the day is automatic because they follow the rest of the herd. They're intellectually lazy. You got to give them a degree for just turning up. So they don't do anything. They're professional about. But if people knew the origins of Palestine, they may actually understand why it's so important and how it ties into stuff like BLM and how it ties into civil rights. There's nothing wrong with having an opinion. And our First Amendment, particularly, especially if they were an accident who became an American by choice, I became an American. So I wanted to be an American, and I came in through the front door, put on a uniform, did my thing, stood in line, didn't come over the wall, didn't sneak in, and I did it. So I'm extremely sensitive to these idiots getting any airtime. But the Palestinian question is directly linked, and they've tried to, by way of fundraising, try to stream different things together. As you'll get BLM guys now saying what happens to Palestinians can happen to us. Mm-hmm. People don't realize that Israelis are primarily not just pinky white or brown. Israelis, primarily, their whole diaspora of it is they are what they call them. They are known as Mizrahim. Right? Mizrahim are primarily Jews that came from the area which was formerly Palestine. The former Palestine was an area between the Mediterranean and the Jordan River.
Okay.
And so it was not a geographic boundary. So Palestinians were Palestinians were primarily Bedouin. They were nomads. So they didn't actually do anything. They grazed, they chased their herds around. So Palestinians primarily at the time became the Mizrahi Jews. They came from Iraq, which was Babylonia, Iran, which was Persia, and Yemen, believe it or not, where the Houthis are. So a fact that's forgotten about, or conveniently never discussed. So a lot of the origins of Israelis are actually from the Middle East. They're called Oriental Jews. And the Ottoman Empire, which ruled that area from the 1500s to 1916, 1917, they took in that diaspora. So when you're talking about funding, you're talking about funding. It's about short-term attention span and maximum publicity. And it always happens on an election year. Always happens on an election year.
So, Nomad, I got two questions. So the Palestinians only exist in name only. They never had a country.
Well, interestingly enough, yes, is a short answer to that. Here's the kicker with that, right? The Palestinians primarily, they were not. The history of Palestine is something that's unique, right? After World War I in 1918, between 1918 and 1922, the League of Nations, which is the precursor to the UN, that wonderful organization, right? They gave the British government control of Palestine. So that same geographic area from the Mediterranean to the Jordan River, right?
Yeah.
So you've got a whole lot of historical, cultural ties going on. In 1922, there was what they did, the partition of Palestine. And there were two groups set up. They were Jewish and Arab. And in 1947, the year before the foundation of Israel, there was a resolution passed by the League of Nations, 181 number 2. And it was called the Future Government of Palestine. It was a British and French-backed thing. It basically protected Jerusalem and Bethlehem, like we had Checkpoint Charlie in Berlin after World War II and after the Marshall Plan when we rebuilding it up. And it was a protected area. So yes, Palestine was never an actual area. It was a geographic term for a large area. If you ask any Muslim, he'll tell you he's Arab. But where do Arabs come from? Arabia. Arabia is like a caliphate. It's an area, never an actual area. It was a geographic term for a large area. If you ask any Muslim, he'll tell you he's Arabs. But where do Arabs come from? Arabia. Arabia is like a caliphate. It's an area, never an actual area. It was a geographic.
Did we lose you there? Not sure what happened.
No, sorry, no.
Oh, okay, good. Oh, okay.
At the end of it, in 1947, the British forces withdrew in August of 48, and in October 48, Israel began. The day before that resolution began, the day before the resolution, before the foundation of Israel, the Arab states declared war on Israel. So when they declared war on Israel, you've set the scene for what was going to come for the next 50 years. And that's what happened. So the Palestinians have never been accepted by Arab nations. They've always been nomadic, and they've never had an actual structure. It wasn't until what's his name, the head of the Palestinian Authority,
Arafat.
His bloody name.
Yasser Arafat.
Arafat.
After the Intifada was 87 and 93. So you had, what's his name? The Oslo Accord in 93, where the PLO and Israel set up a Palestinian Authority, and it was actually, I know it was. Ironically, September 2011, Mahmoud Abbas, he asked the UN for recognition of Palestine, and they could not recognize a state that doesn't exist. So they gave them an observer status, which is basically you're a member of the club, but you have no voting rights. But that set the scene for what the UN has been trying to do since 2011. And since November of 2012, Palestine has a non-member status within the UN, which means it can get funding. That's why the European Union gave these clowns 2.2 billion euro. That's not including what the States gave them. Where's that freaking money gone? Where's that money gone? So there's never been a Palestine. And it's a pity that it has never been properly, chronologically outlined for people here. Give them the elevator speech, give them the short version, and you'll see Palestine never existed.
Yeah. Follow-up question to that. So how much worse do you see this getting here?
Say again?
How much worse do you see the situation getting here in the United States?
Well, I mean, the question. Sorry, sir.
How
No,
much?
you mean the riots and the protests
Yeah.
getting worse? Yeah.
Yeah.
I got you guys. I'm back again.
Okay.
So how much worse do you see the riots and all this stuff that's going on now getting worse in the United States?
I think we're not prepared for it because our policing is soft as baby poop, and we're too concerned with being frilly and being soft. I come from a place where if you've 3 people or more, it's classed as an unlawful gathering. And that comes because most of Europe has come from places of revolution. The US was born from revolution. So if 3 people or more, you've primarily got an organized crime or you've got a criminal enterprise. So what happens is in public order issues, if you can have your equivalent of your First Amendment, even though we don't have one in Europe, but what we've got is you've got free speech. But similar to here's the short answer to it. If your free speech is inflammatory, and if you wave a flag in London or Germany or France or anywhere else, and that flag is associated with a terrorist organization, screw you and your voice. You're done because you're inciting riots, you're inciting public disorder. And that's how the Europeans do it. Over here, we're afraid to grasp the nettle here, buddy. And I'm telling you right now, we have had it in Iraq, we've had it in Afghanistan, where our own humanity and sense of goodness has been used against us.
Mm-hmm.
From IEDs, from everything else. I've seen it. Chet, you've seen it. Kids coming up. Kids coming up. He's going to distract you. He's a weapon of mass distraction. What comes behind them is something else. This soft approach is that the person that's most dangerous is the person who's right in front of you.
Yeah.
You never see him coming.
Yeah.
Never see him coming.
That's how it always is.
That's it. That old Chinese general going back thousands of years ago. He's even older than Chet. One of the few guys I know older than Chet. Sun Tzu, the Art of War. He said the same thing. He said, right? He knew Chet personally on the same high school picture. But basically, he said, your enemy, the most dangerous enemy, I can pick on you because you can't get me right now. But the enemy, the most dangerous enemy is the one to your side. And that's what we've got right now. We've got people who are intellectually lazy. So the riots right now are a precursor to fragment and split up support because politically here in this country, there's not much of a choice. But there's only maybe one choice right now going on what we've got. It's either Ben and Jerry's ice cream or something else. Yeah. So what we've got is these protests, they will not fizzle out, but they're every time you have an activist going, you've got funding coming in. And where does the money go? You may begin with one protest, but the money is squirreled away somewhere else. And that's what you've got coming on. Our problem is not this election. It's after this election is when our problems begin.
Exactly.
The next election, not this one, in my humble opinion, is our problem.
Okay, we
already have a Trojan horse.
Hey, Nomad, we're 30 seconds into a break, or we're going to come up to break in 30 seconds. When we come back, though, I want to talk about. If you can stick around, I want to talk about the USC codes that deal with supporting terrorist organizations and where Hamas fits into that.
Absolutely.
So we're going to go to a break in just a minute. If you can stick around, hey, call the show, man.
I will.
I'm saying we got a phone line to call. Any of you listeners out there, call the show 508-974-4231. We would love to talk to you. We got Nomad. He's a wealth of information and knowledge. So he'll talk to anybody too, pretty much. So give us a call and go ahead and take us to break whenever you're ready.
I say whoa, I mean whoa.
Yeah, like that. That's a good one. I like that one.
He's killing me tonight.
Yeah. Are we counting the breakdown, or what the fuck are we doing here? Boys, where'd you go? Okay, we are back. Okay, when we rolled out again, okay, one more time. If you want to call the show, 508-974-4321, give us a call. Okay, Nomad, my last question just before the break was, Hamas is a designated terrorist organization, right? So 18 U.S. Code
And
230,
now it is.
it is now. 18 U.S. Code 2339B deals with providing material support to terrorist organizations and so forth and so on. Now, some idiot in one of the protests today was telling these students that they should be martyring themselves. Why isn't that fucker locked up someplace in a deep dark hole, either in Gitmo or Supermax?
Well, I have a number of opinions on that. If someone wants to martyr themselves for something that they know nothing about, well, I mean, that's the pure definition of stupidity. And the best of luck to them. It saves me paying. Firstly, it saves me having to worry about a student loan being wiped out. He wipes himself out. That's how I look at it. But second thing is primarily we have reclassified and redefined what is terrorism. We have redefined what is rightful, peaceful protest. I mean, you talk about MLK and how the civil rights movement here, people in America may not understand how much of an impact it had globally with protests. The actual problems in Northern Ireland, the Catholics protesting for equal rights came directly from Martin Luther King in the 60s. Sunday Bloody Sunday, that song with U2, that's all about that. So you have fine examples of proper protest, legitimate protest, and this country is evolving and it should always evolve. Our Constitution is so far ahead of its time, it's able to navigate and still be relevant. And that's the beauty of this country, because America is a concept, not just a geographic location. The two most unique places in the world are America and the State of Israel. They're two places that no other countries in the world are like. Even our enemies want to be American. That's how bad it is. But here we go. So protests are, these guys protest and want to martyr themselves. You know, that's it. There was less news coverage about the guy who set himself on fire outside of Trump's trial in New York than there was about some guy getting handcuffed and screaming because he was called the wrong pronoun as he was dragged screaming into a police van. The protests here, the police hands are handcuffed. They're bound by procedure. And yet again, from a guy with an accent talking about an American Constitution, you might think it's rich, but here's where it's at. I probably know more about the Constitution than some Americans who are here. Because
I know you do.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
So, and I hate saying that. I love America, and I'm so thankful for this country. I genuinely am. But we need to wake the hell up. So, our definition of what was once a protest is now peaceful. I don't remember too many peaceful protests when they burned down, you know, up in Michigan, up in Wisconsin and other places, and they're burning buildings down. I didn't hear too much about protests during the Rodney King riots back in the 80s about police brutality, right? But it was not about those Asian guys standing on top of a roof protecting their business as immigrants coming here. I don't hear much about BLM right now. They say that they're for all things brown. Well, okay, what color is a Palestinian? What color is an American? I'll tell you, here's the problem. It's our definitions are a freaking problem. The color of an American is red, white, and blue. It doesn't matter a damn where you come from. Once you put your right hand up and take that pledge, that's where you're at, buddy. You're pink on the inside, regardless of the packaging. You see that in the battlefield. I see it on law enforcement. I see it every freaking day. So our definition of protest has equally morphed and evolved into social justice equals fundraising. If you can come up with a cause, you can do it. For an example, we have 20 years ago, we had no LGBTQ. All of a sudden now, a fraction of 1% has a disproportionate effect on funding, education, and everything else that's there. You do what you want to do, buddy. I have no problem with you. The best of luck to you, right? Whatever fluffy clothes you want to work on, you get your unicorn and you hang it off. But here's where I'm at. If what you protest affects my safety, the safety of my country, the safety of my ability to be able just to live, I have a problem with you and your protest.
Exactly.
People's interest is proportional to their pocket. And that's what's coming down to right now. If you cut off the funding for these protests, for these Ivy League colleges, you see how quick all of a sudden a $500,000 paycheck for a professor in unicorn studies would freaking evaporate. And so does the protest, because no professor, no course, there's no snowflake. All right? So the majority of education right now is primarily designed around and runs around people who are professional students. The professors in these colleges are the same people who were protesting in the 60s. So you just created generation 2.0 for the same stuff. But the problem is, I give the guys in the 60s something, right? They knew where things were at. We just finished with Vietnam. We had a lot of stuff happen between 65 and 85. A lot of crap happened in the world, right? So what I'm saying, protests here, it's not relevant enough because tomorrow somebody else's disaster is the front page news. And people's attention is the same as a goldfish, buddy. They don't care.
Yep, exactly.
No,
Well,
man, I got a question for you. I'm a contractor as well. Most of my time was overseas, was in Israel, and I made a trip to the green zone. But how does what is going on here in the United States compare to what we saw over there? I mean, every week people hear my experiences. They hear Chet's experiences. I'd like to hear your take on it.
Well, you know the green zone between Baghdad and the airport, Road Irish?
Yeah.
I was the only Irish guy on Road Irish, right? Remember that, right?
Yeah.
Right? Here we go, right? So we're from the same NSR, right?
Yeah.
Although I heard that Chet served in the Salvation Army. He was a brigadier general in charge of the Crouton platoon. But anyway, no, he's a good man.
Yeah, but he lived on an air base. We didn't.
Yeah, I lived in a house. I lived in a house rented from a warlord. Anyway, go ahead.
No. Like, let's leave Chet alone for at least one evening. Well, here's the kicker. The question is this. The answer is insurgency. Insurgency takes different forms. It could be an inmate in a prison who refuses to comply with an order. It could be a 13-year-old kid who shoots somebody on the west side of a major city. And the cop responds to it, said, "Hey, get on the ground. Fuck you," he says to him. "You can't arrest me because I'm a kid." So what's happened is we created our own monster. We've now armed our own monsters through the education system, through resources, with freedom comes responsibility. If you've got rights in your Bill of Rights, you've got responsibility to everybody else. So what you saw in the sandbox, in the pit, was primarily the same crap. The guys we fought, it was the same thing. Antisocial is insurgency. You can put whatever name you want on it. You're not doing what you're supposed to do. You're doing something that can cause harm to greater society. So therefore, it's insurgency.
So I
would reclassify anybody who protests and supports a terrorist organization as what the FBI would call an HVE, a homegrown violent extremist.
Right. So
you want to put it on somebody, you can have it on everybody.
So there is just so the audience understands, there is a direct correlation.
Yes.
Between what's going on in Israel, what's going on here for protests. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you for that clarification.
All right. Perfect. We have, I think we have the speaking of taking protests a little too far, I think we have the video spooled up about the guy lighting himself on fire. And apparently it's pretty graphic. And so viewer beware.
I saw it. Let me go get my sandwich before he plays it. All right.
Well, yeah, break out the hot dogs and the marshmallows and all that kind of shit. But cover the kids' eyes and whatever, because
let's make some s'mores.
Yes, I think that was kind of. I've seen the video too. The poor guy when he's slapping his balls, trying to put them out because they're still on fire.
Would you guys not agree that some people need something to complain about?
Oh, without a doubt.
Yeah. Otherwise, it wouldn't be a normal world. Yes, you're right.
Well, yeah. I mean, if you look at the social media, I mean, one thing that you can look at all this here from a law enforcement point of view, from an intel point of view, policing has infiltrated and has utilized social media very, very well. It has to, because it's a new form of weaponry against counterterrorism and other things. But equally, the other side has done the same job. The success of Hamas was not October 7th. The success of Hamas was fundraising and raising its importance. You're now going to have a problem in the Mideast that people may not recognize here. And it is, you're going to have a competition between what's left of Al-Qaeda, ISIS, Hamas, Hezbollah. Who's more badass? Who's more relevant? Let's do something. So let's have workmanship. And that's the problem we've got right now. That's the problem we've got right now.
Without a doubt. Okay, we got Nomad has given us all kinds of great information here. He's a wealth of knowledge and lives up to his reputation and his name without a doubt. So we're going to go ahead and run this video, Blazeman, and then we'll get back into this again.
Shut up.
Well, okay.
I have to warn your audience that this video we're about to see is graphic, and I don't think it ever came to the point where do we know why he set himself on fire?
Wasn't he a Bernie supporter or something? And
I have no idea.
I thought somebody said that they wanted to make s'mores and he volunteered to be the charcoal.
Yeah, it could be. It could be. But I mean, political motivation to kill yourself because of Trump?
I don't think Trump figured into that. Did
it? It had
no bad, you know?
Does anybody know his political motivation to do this?
Wasn't he from Florida?
Yeah.
Maybe he was missing the warmth.
Oh, jeez.
Okay, you're dying with the jokes, pal.
I don't know. We'll find out while the video's running. Let's see if we can discover why he did what he did.
Would be nice if I find the thing here.
As the jury selection process was being finalized in a downtown Manhattan courthouse Friday for Donald Trump's historic hush money trial, a man set himself on fire in a nearby park and burned for several minutes before the flames were eventually extinguished by police and fire department personnel. Officials said the man, who was in his late 30s, survived and was in critical condition at a hospital. Here's New York City Police Department Chief Jeffrey Madry.
See, that was his sign that he was holding up, correct?
He starts shuffling around his clothes. He opens up a book bag. From the book bag, he takes numerous pieces of paper. Shuffling around.
Madry at a hospital. Here's New York survived and was in critical. Officials said the man who was in.
It says Trump is with Biden and they're about to fascist a coup, U.S. Right?
Yeah, it's some kind of pamphlet, propaganda based, like conspiracy theory type. Some information in regards to Ponzi schemes and the fact that some of our local educational institutes are fronts for the mob. So a little bit of conspiracy theory going on there is what they're saying.
Yeah, and he sets himself on fire because of that.
Right. Apparently he had 3 run-ins with the law. He was arrested for normal criminal property damage, disorderly conduct, so forth and so on. There was a framed autograph on the wall of, something about throwing a glass of wine at a photograph on some hotel.
See this black box right here? Well, I'm going to show you something.
Okay, well, that's why. So generally crazy and stuff.
All right, continue on.
Now, officials said the man, who was in his late 30s, survived and was in critical condition at a hospital. Here's New York City Police Department Chief Jeffrey Madry.
He walks to the center of the park. When he's in the park, he starts shuffling around his clothes. He opens up a book bag. From the book bag, he takes numerous pieces of paper, pamphlets out. He throws the pamphlets throughout the park, and then he pulls out a canister and pours some kind of liquid on himself, a liquid we believe is an accelerant, and he lights himself on fire.
The incident was captured by television cameras there for the trial. Reuters has blurred the image as it is disturbing. The NYPD said the man, who they identified as Max Azzarillo of St. Augustine, Florida, did not appear to be targeting Trump or others involved in the trial. Here's Deputy Commissioner Tariq Shepard.
We just right now labeling it as a sort of a conspiracy theorist, and we're going from there. But the investigation will continue.
One of the pamphlets the man threw into the air included references to, quote, evil billionaires, but portions that were visible to a Reuters witness did not mention Trump. In an online manifesto, a man using the name Max Azzarillo said he set himself on fire and apologized to friends, witnesses, and first responders. The post warns of an apocalyptic fascist coup and criticizes cryptocurrency and U.S. politicians, but does not single out Trump in particular. According to a Reuters witness, a smell of smoke lingered in the plaza shortly after the incident. A smoldering backpack and a gas can were visible at the scene.
I want to buy your house. I can pay you cash for your house, no matter what condition it's in. If you need to sell your house for any reason, click the link in the...
Yeah, we done? Okay. Can you imagine the mess that made in the burn unit? Them trying to put him out with dry chem extinguishers? Can you imagine trying to clean that up?
You ever walk through a burn unit?
Oh, I spent way more time than I care to think about.
Hey, Blaze, did you get the follow-up video I texted you?
I got something. Is it the one involving a goat and an innocent-looking sheep?
Could be.
Oh my God! Here come the sheep jokes. That's really
where
bad.
did you send it, Renee?
I texted it
on my phone.
Yeah.
Okay. Continue.
Well, it might arrive. So, of course, I'm on a different number, so I'm sure my superiors are very impressed right now. What's boring right now, apart from that man's credibility outside the courthouse where Trump was, is probably my career as we're speaking.
Well, that's all right. We're always available for a hug if you need.
It's only Wednesday. It's only Wednesday. I'll tell you something about that poor guy, right? And that guy was right? There's no difference between him and the Antifa stuff. Because regardless of anything else, Antifa, people I think misunderstand it. It's not an actual thing. It's a collection of ideologies. It's not singular in how it is. I don't know if people remember or not, but there was a Customs and Border Patrol attacked by Antifa up in, the hell was it? Tacoma, Washington. A guy attacked basically, what the hell was it? It was Customs and Border Protection. I came in with an AR-15 and tried to ignite and set off a 500-pound propane tank. So what's the difference really? It's just scale. It's just scale. We have a lot of people that, they don't think for themselves intellectually. So they'll hook into something that gives them a reason to have a pulse and a reason to have an opinion. The majority of these protesters, they repeat sound bites. They don't. They have no intellectual capacity to rational or any type of argument that goes with them. They just repeat what they've been told.
Yeah. And
that's what we've got. Even our politicians reflect that. I mean, that wonderful example of creativity, Ocasio AOC. She is a wonderful collection of cells, but she's a single cell organism when it comes to intellect, when it comes to matters where she sits in the house, but she has no idea what the hell is going on. But she could tell you the price of the latest Michael Kors handbag that probably came out because we're paying for it. So these protesters are a direct product of the education system, its failure. Teachers have failed in this country educating kids. We don't teach civics or any of that stuff anymore. So a lot of the stuff we have sort of made our own monster to a certain degree. We've probably done this to ourselves in a little bit. We have a chance to turn it around next November.
I certainly hope so, because I don't know what's going to happen after that. Well, now that leads to another question that we talked about on the last show, I think. Renee, I don't think you were here, or maybe you were. I don't remember. But anyway, what do you think the reaction is going to be because all these protesters are already organized, they're already gearing up, they're already verging on riots. If Trump is elected, What do you think their response is going to be to that event? And or if Biden is elected, because they don't seem to be liking him a whole lot either. I mean, is it just going to be another years of rioting and protests, no matter who gets elected, if we don't lock this shit down?
What, can I answer that question? My opinion with a question.
Yes.
Hasn't protesting become a sort of a full-time job for people?
Oh,
the
yeah.
majority of protesters, they don't never work a day in their life. So how would they? Example, do you know that the average price of a tent in the pro-Palestinian encampment above in Colombia is $500?
Really? Wow.
So where's that money coming from? That stuff isn't cheap. They're not doing that in Walmart or Sam's Club. They're getting the best of gear because even markers need to have some sort of street cred. You know what I'm saying? So you're not going to be seen to be I mean, listen. When I'm going to get myself in more hot water here right now, but here we go. When your political view, you have to wear a uniform. Everybody in the world wears a uniform.
Mm-hmm.
You can't be taken seriously as an art student if you ain't got a pair of flip-flops, a baggy pants, C&D symbol, a whole rasta haircut going, and you wear the uniform of your peers. Equally, a military guy like us ex-vets, we walk and talk. We're products of the system that we once worked and operated in quite comfortably. Equally, a person who's a biker.
We lost them, guys.
Okay. What are we? Okay, Blaze. What do we want to shut us down in an hour, or what are we doing tonight? Or where are we here?
We got 7 minutes of showtime left.
Right. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, you have 7 minutes of showtime left.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, we can just probably go ahead and wrap up. Yeah,
I mean, he's right. He's been in the lobby the whole time. I don't understand why he can't hear us.
Yeah, that's weird. I don't know what's going on with that either.
Hey, why don't you play that takeaway video I sent you?
Do I have to?
Yeah,
the firecracker one.
My sick mind wants you to.
All right, let's do it. We got 7 minutes to kill.
Where the hell did I get? Where did I put it? I don't remember. Talk.
Okay, well, while you're trying to talk, we'll figure out what else we're doing here. The funny website Firecracker explodes in face. Very funny.
Download the new Sirius XM.
Right, good. Keep talking. I'll take care of that.
Yeah. Hey, thanks, CJR. Yeah, Nomad has been 100% on point all night. He's going to be a great asset for us, man. I really hope we can get him back as much as possible.
Hello, you're on the air with i12 GIA Real Talk Real People. Is this Mr. Nomad?
This is Nomad. It was probably the NSA not saying anything. Probably.
Hey, Nomad, we had a message about
you. Everybody up in Annapolis. Everybody up in Annapolis.
We got a message about you there, buddy, on the chat group. Nomad has been 100% on point all night. So, good job.
Oh, there you go there.
Nomad,
that means you just doubled your list. You just doubled your listenership then, yeah?
I know we did, yeah. Apparently me and Rennie are full of shit, but you're doing great though. So.
Great job tonight.
I resemble that remark strongly. Yeah. Thank you very much, buddy.
I think we're down to what do we got? 4 minutes left, something like that. 4 minutes, 30 seconds. We're going to wrap this up in an hour, and continue on our.
It's an hour show. You got exactly. Let's see here. You got 5 minutes.
All right, we can start. Are you going to?
I have a request for a video.
Okay.
Should I play it?
Yeah, might as well.
Take away. Yeah.
Okay, here it comes. Just so everyone knows that this wasn't picked by me, the producer, or by Fogman.
And it has nothing to do with sheep, right?
As far as I know, I don't know.
Well, the guy could be a product of a sheep. Just watch the video.
Okay. All I know is it has to do with a firecracker. So, is everybody ready?
Ready.
This is All Seer. I just was experimenting with fireworks for Halloween. think I've perfected
this music.
Deliverance.
This music absolutely depicts this guy.
You got a purty mouth.
And I can see.
Listen, the reason I picked this is a guy that's going to vote for Biden in November. All right.
So this is a Biden voter. Is
Yes,
that correct?
yeah.
Okay.
I'm just showing you the mentality. That's all.
Is he any relations to this guy?
My name is Slowpoke Rodriguez.
Any relations?
Yep.
He could be,
Without
but
a
I'm
doubt.
leaning more towards sheep.
How about any relations to this one?
That's all, folks.
No? Okay, let's listen.
Okay.
the mixture with sulfur.
Oh dear God.
And I'm using potassium, magnesium. So I'm going to light this, and it should just sparkle a little bit.
It should just sparkle, everybody.
That I'm not watching.
Actually, I think I'll turn the light out so it shows up better.
Oh, he's going to turn the light off, folks.
Okay. Let's try this out.
Oh, shit.
Don't forget, it's just going to sparkle.
That's what
Don't
it's
forget this is Reddy's fault, too.
Holy fucking shit! That scared the fuck out of me.
Holy smokes.
Dude, anybody in his sister
A little too
understands
much magnesium, I guess.
compact fucking any kind
I
of
won't do that
gunpowder.
again.
Because that's the
Sorry
result.
about that.
All right.
That's enough of that.
Let's wait. I gotta hear it full blast here now.
Oh, yeah.
Because it scared the shit out of me before. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this moron. Jesus fucking Christ!
Holy smokes.
Holy smokes.
I can smell fear.
Too
I
much
think you need some
magnesium.
s'mores, too. That's
Hey,
pretty funny.
I
he's
won't
not,
do
he's
that
not an
again.
ELD guy, that's for sure.
Sorry
Yeah.
about that.
I won't do that again, he says.
This is why I stopped shopping on
This
Amazon.
is why
You should too.
This is
Hey,
why do people think that that's all right? I don't know.
know, man.
Fuck
Hey,
you,
Neutral
man.
Corner with Jerry there. Hi, buddy. Good to see you. Thanks for jumping in here. Unfortunately, we're almost done. But,
I can't
all right.
believe I just watched that, man.
yeah, me neither. Twice.
Well,
Or
I
was it
never
all-
listened to that. There we go.
and you listened. Well, yeah, you didn't. Yeah, just the music alone was enough.
Yeah, I didn't see it. Thank God. Yeah.
Yeah, you didn't miss nothing.
Oh, you
Just,
should have seen it. It was hilarious.
So blame Rennie for that one. That's all his fault.
I've seen enough fireworks. Any more things before I go, guys? I don't know. I don't know what you guys have left on your time, but
Okay, buddy. Yeah.
the opportunity for upsetting your evening. I'll threaten another visit again. But I would like to. You guys do a very valuable job and give people an opportunity, but also there is a difference in approach to things that we're dealing with here right now. We've dealt with in Europe for the last 20, 25 years, and unfortunately, we're behind the curve here. So, while I'm pro-American, I'm anti-stupidity, and we need to get our finger out of our butt and do some things.
Mm-hmm.
And no other country would put up with this level of protest, which causes such civil disruption. It just would not happen.
Yeah.
We protest about the wrong things in this country here. We need to protest about what's important. And going from the Israeli perspective in particular, it's house to house, block to block. Your neighbor protects you, and you protect him. And that's the cornerstone of what this country was built upon. When people went west and they had, go west, you man, you put your stake on the land and you put your flag, and that was your land. That was all very well. And your neighbor, while he was in competition for you getting the same piece of land, became your best friend because you're both miserable together. We're coming to that point here now. We're going to have to figure out what's really important as opposed to the aspirations of it. Sensitivities, if you're more sensitive about stuff, you're not going to survive what's coming. That's the bottom line. It's just you're not going to survive.
Sounds like it. I think we're going to have to wrap this up pretty soon. Nomad, thanks a lot, man. We would love to have you back on more as much as you're available.
Nomad, although I've never met you, it was a pleasure having you on. You're a wealth of information, and you really.
Also, I have to say, sir, respectfully, the pleasure was all yours. But thank you.
I get a new idol in life.
Yeah, I have met him, and in spite of that, I still kind of like the guy. But
Nomad likes to thank you guys for having him on the show.
Yes.
We appreciate him.
Yes. And CJR 1979 says Trump better pick Nomad for VP. So I don't know how you feel about that, but you've made an impression there, buddy.
For VP.
You did us proud, brother, tonight.
Are you up for the task, Nomad?
I would be. I would be. Constitutionally, I can only go as far as VP because I'm a naturalized citizen, so I couldn't hold the actual office. But,
why not? Obama did.
I couldn't even be VP. No, I could not be VP because something happened. Number one, number two steps in. But I tell you this, God bless America. I tell you that right now, and people don't say enough of it. And for every American who's born and bred American, from a naturalized citizen to you U.S. citizens up there, I've had the kindness of strangers in this country. I appreciate every single one of you. And I mean that sincerely. And that's one of the reasons why I put another uniform on to pay back what this country gave me, which was an opportunity. So I'm hell-bent on not letting this thing go down in flames. And I mean that sincerely, and not just BS out of my ass. I mean what I say, and I do what I do. And I tell you this right now, keep the good work up, fellas. We need more shows like this, and we need more people to get involved. Because as much as the other side are doing bad things, think positive. This time will pass.
Yep, definitely.
It will get better. What we've got to do is have each other's back. Have each other's back. All right? Thank you for tonight. Have a great time. God bless America.
All right, my friend.
I'm sorry. I know you have to go. Oh, we're kind of just telling you to go. But I have a question, and I wonder if you could answer it. I'm the producer, so I can allot myself whatever time I want.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Good time. Yeah.
I'm
Nomad.
okay. I'm saying you're not going to kick me off.
Do you think that there is a potential risk here in the United States for attack? Do you think that we're open for attack?
Yes, we are, and it's not for the obvious, just for the obvious reasons. People are looking on the southern border as being porous, which it is. It's not a border; it's just a line on a map anymore. It doesn't mean anything anymore. There's a number of quick reasons. Yes, the short answer. The reason why is that our politicians, our representatives, we get and we deserve what we elect. That's the bottom.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So if you have a poorly educated population, you're going to have an even bigger buffoon representing you, okay? And he'll come around every 4 years and he'll tell you, oh, I got the roads done, I got this shit done. Who gives a rat's ass? Why'd you do to protect me and mine at home, right? So, yes, we are going to have it. Homeland Security are primarily still at this time right now getting ready for what's coming. They have to be proactive. They're learning lessons from Israel, from Europe, from counterterrorism, from different units that we all worked in. They're coming. It's coming. The lessons that we learned, we've forgotten 9/11. We've forgotten what happened on 9/11. So we have forgotten about it because it hasn't been made relevant about it. You ask a kid now who's protesting in Colombia, they couldn't tell you what happened on 9/11. They can tell you on what 420 was in Colorado, but when they get free hash and marijuana, but they can't tell you shit about 9/11, right? 6 weeks after 9/11, I was out doing some other stuff, right? And I ended up helping U.S. troops and had the pleasure and honor to be alongside them doing stuff. Check you the same way. So here's where I'm at. Yes, it's coming. It will not be, in my humble opinion, something on that large scale. It will be small town America with a massive, massive shock value. Anything like a theme park, anything like something like that, it's going to be low grade, low tech, mass shock. COVID proved it to us. We can shut down the country for 2 years unless you live in the South. You have refugees, economic and otherwise, coming down to the South, to Florida and elsewhere. But you brought the best of police down to Florida with a great governor in DeSantis.
Mm-hmm.
When he goes, what's in his place? So it's coming because we can't depend upon the next generation to fucking wear 2 matching socks let alone protect the country. If you let this shit go on right now, the country that I wanted to become part of, an American, I'm ashamed of it right now, because I tell you this, I gotta protect this because it's my new home and it's given me somewhere to be. That's the only place I wanted to be. I had many choices to be where I wanted to go. I chose here. But
that's great, man.
Because we have the attention span of a fucking goldfish. We don't learn from anything, we just repeat. If your go-to is a 5-inch screen looking at Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram, that's what's controlling us right now. The best of the PlayStation generation are running our drone programs because they can manipulate controls and have dexterity. But intellectually, they're like a wet sock. They don't know what they're doing. So our problem is we have an expertise in this country we need to tap into. Our vets, our police, our first responders, our teachers need to be held to account. What you're teaching kids is politics, not skills, not integrity, not American studies. People came to America, Statue of Liberty, Ile de France. The original Statue of Liberty is in the middle of the Seine River in Paris. I've been there many times, right? I come there, I look there. When I was up at the Statue of Liberty, after I became a citizen, I looked around and said, these are my fellow Americans. This is where people came from everywhere else to set foot on here. When I looked around, I ended up seeing a rainbow version of a U.S. flag. And I said, that's not the fucking flag I saw coming back. 27 caskets coming off a C-130. There is no rainbow flag version of it. I'm not against anybody who has a different persuasion, but there's only one U.S. flag. There's only one type of American, red, white, and blue. You don't have to hide with your population. You can be Irish and be an American. You can be American, Irish. You're American first.
Exactly.
Your heritage could be Irish. If you're an American, you're American.
Exactly.
In pigmentation, but you have African heritage. We are Americans. So stand up for what we are, which is what we are. 300 years now almost on this stage, or 200 and something years, right? It's coming because people are freaking stupid and letting stuff happen right in front of them. The rest of the world is laughing at us. Came back from Israel, I could not believe what I came back to. 4.5, 5 months, and I could not believe what I came home to. Could not believe.
It is amazing, brother. They're about to cut us off here. You, my friend, are a great American, and I'm proud to call you my brother. And we will be doing this again without a doubt, man. No kidding. All right, all right,
thank
Blaze.
You, sir. Mr. Blaze, likewise, buddy.
Thanks, man.
Bye.
Talk again soon.
Thank you, man. Have a great day and be safe.
Okay, Blaze, I'll go ahead and take us out. I'll go ahead and take us out then. You got Rennie and Fogman here again with Blaze Man running the operation from behind. Okay, earlier I forgot to mention that our opinions are our own. That includes our guests. They in no way reflect are reflective of i12 GIA, Peace of Mind Training, Global Elite Tactical Training, or any of our other sponsors. They are just ours. They're whatever comes out of our brain. And as always, it's real talk with real people, unfiltered, raw. And what you see here is what you get. So I'm going to end this out with, our great American. He everything he said made a lot of sense tonight. And we all are Americans. It's time for us to fucking start acting like it. That's enough of this nonsense. It's a fucked up world out there right now, folks. And there's a lot of weird shit going on. So keep the ones that you love close. Give them a big hug. Prepare to self-rescue. And I'm going to go ahead and say goodnight. Rennie?
I'm going to quote our esteemed guest tonight. God bless America and good night, folks. Thanks for tuning in.
Thanks, folks.
just watched an FFN Network production.